Dear viewers, how are you? Today I am going to discuss with a good topic for constitutional law. The under head is writ of jurisdiction of High Court under Article 226. The same writ, if you are going to file any petition before the Supreme Court under Article 32. Okay, but here the High Court Article 226 provides that notwithstanding anything in Article 32, every High Court shall have power throughout the territorial limits in relation to which exercise jurisdiction to issue any person or authority, including the appropriate cases. Any government within those territories by directions, by orders of writs, including writs in the nature of APS corpus is number one. Number two, another writs mandamus and another writs prohibition, another writs quo warranto and certiorari. So any of them for the enforcement of fundamental rights conferred by Part 3 and for any other purposes. So here is clearly mentioned, the writs mentioned in Article 226 are known as prerogative, prerogative writs, because they have their origin in the prerogative power of superintendence over its officers and subordinate courts. Mainly because the High Court is direction to the lower court, Supreme Court is direction to the lower court. So these writs are among the great safeguards provided by British judicial systems for upholding the rights and liberties of people. Here, the only one thing is very important: the upholding the rights and liberties of the people is very important thing. This writs. So in India, before the commencement of the Constitution, what is that? Before the commencement of the Constitution, we have uh, Indian Constitution at present law in force, the year January 26, 1950. So this is now we are following. Before Constitution, the pre-Constitution, we followed the 1935 Indian Act, that is pre-Constitution law. So before our Constitution commencement of the Constitution, only three presidency high courts of Calcutta, only three presidency of high courts. One is Calcutta, number two is Bombay, number three is Madras, had power to issue the writs. So their writs jurisdiction was limited to presidency towns within which they had original jurisdiction. So these articles clearly invest all high courts in India with the power to issue prerogative writs for enforcement of fundamental rights. So in this situation, the makers of the Constitution, the for that meaning is the framers of the Constitution, having provided certain basic rights for the people, so which they are called fundamental rights, evidently thought it necessary to provide also quick and inexpensible remedy for the enforcement of such kind of rights, and also vested high courts with jurisdiction. And also the jurisdiction of a high court is not limited to the protection of the fundamental rights, but also other legal rights, as is clear from the words. Okay, that meaning is other purposes. What is the main scope of Article 226? Here, Speaking on the scope of the power of the High Court, the one of the leading case discussed, T.C. Basappa versus Nagappa cases. This case was brought before the Supreme Court under Article 32. What happened? This case was comprehensive phraseology, and it confers a wide power on the High Courts to remedy injustice. That is why the High Court not given judgment properly. The appellate peoples filed before the Supreme Court with the help of Article 32. But Article 226 is High Court. So the court can issue writs in the nature of prerogative issues understood in the England. The scope of writ is widened by the use of expression nature of habeas corpus, mandamus prohibition, and quo warranto certiorari. So these are all available. So in this case was brought before the court. That time this kind of writs was discussed before the court. The expression does not equate the writs that can be issued in India with those in England, but only draws analogy for them. Apart from that, high courts can also issue directions, orders, or writs other than the prerogative writs. Okay, this is outline of the writ jurisdiction of the High Court. Another video will discuss about writ of habeas corpus, how it will be valid, what are the grounds is available, who are all applied to the High Court and Supreme Court. We'll discuss next video. Wish you all the best. Bye. Thank you.